Of course, policing would also be.
You can?
Yes.
Where do you get that?
It's listed.
You can check it.
It's just listed under the student's information.
So ethnicity, you just search the ethnicity of students.
You can't search it.
It's not
You look up a
search.
student, it'll tell
This is
you.
not an issue.
It's the citizenship status that's listed.
Citizenship status? It's even worse.
Passed on the application.
You can't search on it, but if you look up a student, it's one of the attributes that's listed.
Comes up.
Is there a way to
What does it say,
just-
undocumented? I mean,
No,
it
it
says
is-
Colombian, and well, it could be.
Yeah.
It just says citizen.
It says non-citizen.
Non-citizen.
Yeah, that's not.
Sorry for interrupting.
So just to clarify,
But a
so that,
non-citizen is not non-documented.
if you look on
Not
the,
necessarily, no.
if you look on the, first of all, for many students, it has to be asked, because they have to fill out a financial aid form or student worker, sorry. So many students have to provide that information because for a specific reason, right? No, that's separate from the fact of where it's reported in public. Second, if you look, so the Senate made a recommendation last year. If you look on the Senate webpage, the administration response is in the form of an email message that President Cole sent to the community last spring. So I couldn't find an online thing, but there was an email that was sent, so I copied that email there. The email says that information won't be shared with the university police. So according to her response, the university police don't have that information, and they're not going to ask or share about it. So this is a separate question. So I don't. So I think this is not a question that anyone has been. I don't think there's any reason to believe that anyone has been covering up or not telling the truth. I think that there was a request was made and there was a response that seemed responsive, but obviously the committee here has been looking at the issue more closely. So this maybe something that fell through the cracks because it's just the kind of role that they've played. So I don't think anyone's been trying to misinform. I think this.
Okay, what is the status of the What is the status other than
Non-citizen.
citizen? Because I
Citizen,
asked specifically
non-citizen.
the president this question, and she said she would not provide it to the police, but anybody. So if this information is, if there's no information, is the assumption the person is not a citizen, doesn't necessarily mean they don't have other kinds of status. But is that fair, or is it just for citizens?
As far as I know, international students, it lists your visa that you have. If you're a non-citizen, it says non-citizen.
Why would that show up in our classroom information? I move that we petition the university, ask whoever.
You would say green card?
So
No, it just says.
that's the second piece of it, and
I think it's red.
Green card is green.
And the third piece of it is around supporting students who have these questions, these issues. And we have sort of a number of ideas, but two of them largely is developing safe spaces, the same way that we have spaces for LGBTQ students, and you can show you're an ally with a sticker on your door after you've gone through the training, that we would support the same kind of thing for students who have undocumented issues, whether it's themselves or their family. And one way to do that would be to develop partnerships with off-campus partners who have expertise in these questions in various ways. And other campuses have gone through this and have done this, so it's something that's feasible. The second piece of supporting students is broadly about bringing together all of the interested offices and groups on campus to more clearly communicate and share information about this changing topic. Since things are changing so quickly, and one of the major sources of mental health issues for students who have these questions comes from not knowing, right, how things actually stand, right, and rumors becoming sort of particularly a source of fear, would be to share information across something like a wiki, which could be even Canvas, amongst interested groups, and that could include admissions and student affairs and the international services, along with other groups like the Senate and the Latino Caucus and LASO and other interested groups as well, not limited to those. So by organizing a more comprehensive, broad response to supporting students who have these questions, we hope to allow them to get in and continue their education more smoothly. Thank you.
Okay, so I don't want to cut off our discussion, but I just want to say I think where the natural way it stands now is that the blueprint, we take the blueprint and we hand it to the Student Affairs Council, and I would request that the Student Affairs Council come back with a recommendation that incorporates the blueprint and maybe some other ideas or comments on the blueprint and brings it back at the next meeting so that we can vote a recommendation to the consent. Yes.
Hi, I'm Carmen Reyes Cuevas. I'm the president of the Latino Caucus. I just want to say those students are here, and we don't do much for them. We kind of have ignored them. And by having you support this proposal, at least we are acknowledging that they're here, and it's going to be a first step in how we can service them. I go out recruiting all the time, and it breaks my heart when these kids come up to me and ask me, if they can come to Montclair, and what services will we provide for them. We had the Hispanic Student College Institute, and where we did a session in Spanish, and parents took off from work, and they came to search for that dream, and it's heartbreaking when you have to have that conversation that, yes, we allow them to come here, but that's all we do. They pay in-state tuition. But if you have to imagine that those parents, a lot of them are day laborers. They're not making a lot of money. They probably make $5,000 a year. And that's what we're asking maybe them to pay for a tuition. So this is, for me, it's very personal and very passionate. And I want to thank Stephen for taking out in his committee. And we need to do more than just endorsing. Maybe some possible funding, individual funding from all of us. And the president, what he said last night about talking about this group of students and compare them to criminals, this is really terrible where we gone as a nation. And I'm an immigrant, I came to this country, and I was embraced. And it was a very different America, and I think we need to change the narrative. And I'm sorry, something very emotional for us. Thank you.
I move that we endorse this document, and then I'd like to speak up. I forget a second.
So, all right, I guess, we're in the motion, so, do you have a second to the motion?
Second.
All right, so just to say, the Senate has been, we have acted on this issue. I can't say strongly enough how much I support this issue. As just as a matter of moving deliberately, it is my personal preference, for it's up to the Senate obviously, that we take the blueprint, that we turn it into a recommendation which incorporates the blueprint and possibly additional elements, and that we vote on it next time as a considered recommendation. But that's I'll leave to the bottom. We have it, but there's a motion, a second, so we'll discussion.
I can't vote on this, but
you can discuss.
I can discuss. And I think, the deliberative process, I totally respect. What the docket expiration could be in March. There's a timeliness to this kind of thing. And I think that might perhaps overrule the normal due diligence that.
Oh, I asked to make a comment here.
The only thing I would say is that Student Affairs ready to talk about this and help you with it. In my experience, the things that are most effective, especially when talking to President Cole, are to come with specific actions and ask her, can you do this, can you do that? She's more than willing to say, I support these students, I'm behind them. Those are words, and just words. If we can come up with specific policy recommendations, specific actions for her or other members of our community, that to me would be the most effective thing for us to do. So I see that as our job, for coming up with a bullet point list of
those. Of course, I support it 100%, but if you want to do it next month, I think that's more appropriate because that is our procedure typically. But Eric showed me how to find this on a student of one of my advisees, and where it says resident, it says undocumented citizenship, non-citizen. And I don't think that we should have access to that as advisors. And so that's one of the things that I would suggest that be pointed out.
This is in Poland. I gotta tell you, this is absolutely.
Whoa.
Undocumented.
My husband works for
Personally, I'm just amazed this is available. We were told we don't know who's documented or undocumented. Is that what he says here? It's right here, he said in the meeting. So evidently we do know, and we need to, we need to not know that. The one thing I think for deliberation is, I think we have to be careful. Yeah, I think, I support what you wanna have happen, but I think we have to be very careful that we don't create yet another way of identification. That by gathering people or bringing groups that now say, here they are, and they're all in a group together. So I think we have to be careful about rushing forward to not actually create harm.
Well, that would be a good concrete proposal to the president. I mean, not maybe different, but
This is a brilliant example.
it's a brilliant
Policy
example. Okay,
proposal.
faculty do not need to have that access. Nobody needs to have that access. Except maybe some people do.
Yeah, maybe some citizenship stuff that's needed for a grant, put it in another,
something.
can we put it in another
Exactly.
silo
But
where those people
take it
get
out
it,
of
nothing
NEST.
else should be
She
shared.
also
This is-
assured us that no information would ever be handed over without the proper law enforcement or subpoena through the court system.
She
So,
certainly doesn't know.
well, let's hope that's true, but we need to hide the information.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
can I comment? So one, I am taking as a follow-up, what's visible in Banner, and was there something overlooked in terms of some confidential information that does not need to be seen? So I'm taking that now. You might do a resolution, I'll come back to you. If I might also comment, it's my understanding on the President Cole's comment that we don't know. I don't believe we ask. In some cases, it's volunteered, is to my understanding, and probably for good reasons, for all the reasons that you raised. So I believe we may know where it's volunteered, but we don't ask, so we don't know all of the undocumented or DACA students that we may have here. I think that's what was meant there. But regardless, I'm absolutely taking as a follow-up what's visible in Banner or anywhere else. And it may have been overlooked that that's an attribute that has become far more confidential probably than it might have been some years ago. So I will pursue that immediately.
So, I have a suggestion. So, one suggestion, we could quickly formulate a specific Senate recommendation that this data be made not available. We could pass that now. And then we could pass a second resolution that we, in general, support, that we're glad that the Latino caucus had a protest and that we endorse what they were involved. And then the third thing is that we would, as part of that resolution, resolve that the Student Affairs Council is charged to make an official formal recommendation or presentation at the next meeting, which will be voted. So is there any?
Yes, I would move over.
Okay. So, second, any discussion about that? Okay, so, everyone in favor of that course of action? Okay. Anybody opposed? Okay, so, just as a character, so, I will work with the executive board, we will formulate a statement about the citizenship. I think it's relatively straightforward. So I'm gonna ask for your forbearance in getting the exact words before we send it, just so we can get it faster, but we're gonna essentially say this data should be hidden. And the other resolution will be based, and then at the next meeting, we'll bring a solid recommendation. I have a motion to adjourn. Okay, second.
Thank you so much.
We're adjourned, thank you.